Yo, we got Rocks Pirates getting betrayed. Roger versus Whitebeard. We see who saves Shocky. Garp epicness, more from Dragon and Shanks, and even more insane stuff happens in this, the climax of God Valley. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Now chill to Pirate King Within and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing One Piece reviews like this one on the channel and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Nakama if you haven't by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss future One Piece videos and updates. And now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So this chapter is called The Song of Love That Blew Through the Shower of Arrows. And that may in and of itself spoil the whole who rescues Shocky thing, but more on that epic love story in a bit, and let's just appreciate the fact that Oda is finally giving us some romantic love. That's pretty cool. So the chapter starts with battles everywhere in God Valley. With so many big names and battles going on, it definitely has that Paramount War kind of feel to it, and that's a very good thing if you ask me. We see Dragon running away with Shanks and Shamrock, but a laser beam pierces him. Dragon and the babies all fall to the ground. Shanks hits his head and loses consciousness. Now, is that why he is different from most celestial dragons? Is it a Goku thing? I would like to think no, and we'll discuss why later, because later on in the chapter we get some more explanation, which is more reasonable if you ask me, for why he may be different, so we'll come back to this. Dragon was attacked by the big woman with the sharp teeth from the last chapter. She shoots beams from her mouth like a pacifista, but we don't know the specifics of her particular powers. We do know she's a God's Knight though. Her name is Saint Mayfi, and she's from the Satchel family. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will read into Dragon being threatened or overpowered by a random God's Knight, even if they are supposed to be strong on average, obviously. What I'll say to that is simply that Dragon is young here, super young for him, and we saw how fast Luffy accelerated strength-wise. I mean, think about how much stronger he got in 2 to 3 years, and how many more years Dragon had to get stronger since this flashback took place. So I do personally think that Dragon is significantly strong in the present day, even though we haven't seen him in action much, but that can be equally possible even if he is not that strong in this flashback yet. Anyways, Mayfi picks up Shamrock from the ground, wondering what is going on with this island. She was sent by the Celestial Dragon in charge of the babies. He wanted her to bring them back before Garling finds out what happened to his kids and kills him, which is pretty hilarious in its own right. Mayfi is surprised to discover that Garling has kids, and she's also surprised to see that someone wants to kidnap them. And yeah, to be fair, in this world of celestial dragons, and especially knowing how strong and important Garling is within that world, it's crazy that someone would try to take his kids, no matter how bad of a guy Garling is. Like I said in the previous chapter, Dragon is showing insane levels of bravery, if not strength, in this flashback. Dragon is injured now from the laser beam, but he still wants to save the babies because they would be his atonement, sort of, to make up for his participation in this cruel game of murder. Although I don't think he did that much bad stuff personally, but he still wants to atone for it. Definitely has more of a moral conscience than most Marines, I gotta say. And as we know, after he survives, he goes on to do a whole lot more atoning as well. His whole life becomes a kind of atonement, if you will. Now the question to me is, where is Garp's atonement? Like, how can he witness what Dragon witnesses, and for longer, and have a completely different reaction? Still something I wonder about. When Mayfi is about to kill Dragon with her sword, again, crazy detail considering how much we hype up the modern Dragon, but remember, he's probably way stronger now, and most people don't start off Yonko level, obviously. But the point is, he wasn't killed. Why? Because as fate would have it, Mayfi was slashed in half by Whitebeard, who coincidentally appeared there along with Shiki, Big Mom, and Kaido. Crazy to think how all these big names cross paths with each other in ways we never could have guessed. One of the beauties of Oda's writing. Shiki at this point is angry with Whitebeard, saying he was trying to kill him, while Kaido is annoyed with Linlin. Classic Rocks Pirates energy here, where they're all arguing, but what I like is that these guys who annoy each other so much are about to team up in a really cool way. One of my favorite things about this chapter, but to be fair, there are quite a few favorite things I have about this chapter, as we'll see. The catalyst for them teaming up is that many pirates from Hachinosu start encircling them. The very stupid pirates turned on the Rocks pirates instead of trying to find Shaki because they think to themselves they will make huge names for themselves if they can defeat them. But it seems that no one realizes just how insanely big of an if that is. In one of the rare but epic moments of cohesion among the crew, we see Whitebeard, Shiki, Big Mom, and Kaido attack those guys together in an epic double page, and I love to see it. Back to Mayfi, who still with Shamrock in her hands wonders what the heck is going on this island. Meanwhile, Dragon manages to get away from the area thinking the children have been taken, but to his surprise, he sees Shanks unconscious on the ground and he runs away with the baby. So just story-wise, I hope this is more of a factor for their difference than just a hit on the head, personally, because although they have been horrible, I don't like the idea of all Celestial Dragons just being born evil and it takes brain damage to fix them. Rather, it's probably in part due to their conditioning, which Shamrock probably will receive to a greater extent at a young age, while Shanks, thanks to Dragon, will end up having a different upbringing, and that will make the bigger difference than Celestial Dragon genes. Not that I wouldn't appreciate the homage to Dragon Ball Z and Goku being less Saiyan-like because of the brain damage, but I just think it's better storytelling this way, where people can ultimately shape how to live their life, and it's not predetermined based on whether you're this or that from the beginning. And before someone says it's all about nurture, I would disagree with that again, arguing also for the idea of free will and thus moral responsibility for one's actions, which we even see being exercised in other Celestial Dragons like Doflamingo's father despite his upbringing. Even Dragon in this flashback is a great example of that. He's been trained and been around the same things as his fellow Marines, but he still decided this was wrong and made a moral decision to rebel against his orders. So now we get to the hype Garp part of the chapter. Prime Garp notices the quote-unquote big shots are near him, so he went to quote-unquote catch them. Garp punches the ground while Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido dodge the attack. In a hilarious and respectable, if maybe stupid moment, Kaido wants to fight Garp, but Big Mom and Whitebeard don't want to drag things out, so they run away. Whatever the reason though, that definitely hypes up Garp big time, such big names running away. As they run, Big Mom combines Zeus and Prometheus into a massive attack called Heavenly Fire Breeze. But again, to Garp's hype and credit, he takes 0 damage. He just says this fire can't even roast a prime rib, Linlin. Amazing interaction. After we see Rocks running to the center of God Valley. He is thinking about his son, future Blackbeard, and his wife, who is important enough to actually get a name here, Ellis. Or Elise, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The name suggests importance and that she too will be an important someone. Let me know if you got any thoughts for her own possible connections to other characters in the world of One Piece. We already know that she looks like Robin, but we'll see if anything pans out with that. Then we see that the Rocks Pirates and Roger Pirates are closing in to the middle of the valley. Roger goes to fight Whitebeard pretending that his hands are full. And I really like how he's such a good bro and friend here. He orders Rayleigh to go help Shaki instead, knowing that it hurts his own chances of ending up with Shaki. Now yes, it was always clear that she had more interest in Rayleigh, but still, this is a great moment for Roger where he could have been petty until the end, but I'm glad he decided not to be. Marines try to take Shaki away, but she kicks and defeats them all, even in her chains. Pretty hype for her, honestly, since I don't usually associate her with being a great fighter. However, her victory is short-lived when the horrible and detestable Summers appears. He hits Shaki with his club. Summers prepares to kill her since in his view she will only end up with Garling anyways if she's left alive. Then we get the great amazing double page of the chapter where Rayleigh appears to save Shaki and defeats Summers with a new attack called Billhook of the Beyond, and in Japanese it has the same pronunciation as Red Spider Lily Flower, which in Japanese folklore is supposed to guide the dead to their next reincarnation. So it's like saying you're already dead, bro. Rayleigh's attack pose is notably very similar to Zoro's pose when he uses his Onigiri attack, so even though there were already so many parallels between the two, here's yet another one. Now, those of you who like romance, aka romantic love, relish this because romantic love is very rare in One Piece, and here for this chapter, it is front and center. Like, I'm not saying it never happens in the background, but it's very rarely, if ever, front and center like this. Rayleigh says, "Shaki, I'm sorry I'm late, but I have come to get you." Rayleigh offers his hand to Shockey and she bursts into tears, and they both hug each other while crying. Roger and Scopper also cry, but hilariously it's a mix of joy and their own jealousy. We even see broken hearts in their speech bubbles. You gotta love it. Nevertheless, Roger did the right thing. Shockey says, Ray-san, you are so slow. I honestly love that she chastises him even after he saved her. It's a sweet and funny moment. And Rayleigh says, I am sorry you had to experience such things. Shockey says, I was so scared. And as Rayleigh is saying, I will never, ... Suddenly Oda remembers this isn't a romance manga, and he gets Roger and Scopper to break in and hilariously say, do it later, you bastard. AKA, this isn't the time and place, man. Roger gives his Nakama an order saying, boys, we have Shockey back, let's take the treasures and get out of this place. Roger pirates agree, screaming, yeah. So they're kind of like the winners here, especially Rayleigh, or at least that's the way it seems right now, but we know things are about to change big time. We know that it doesn't end this way, even though this seems like a happy ending for them at least. Somehow we're going to get Garp and Roger teaming up against Rox, who is simply trying to protect his family. So how do we get from here to there? The suspense is absolutely insane, and I can't wait to find out because we are about to take a crazy twist real soon. But that is it for this one, so like and subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss the next exciting installment of Peak Piece. I'm honestly gonna be sad when the flashback is over because I'm enjoying it so much. If you enjoyed this one, then don't miss this video on screen right now that YouTube says you'll like, and I'll see you in the next one.